Star Trek zombies and human Gorns or Gorn humans? Spock punching people? There's a lot to digest from episode 3 of Strange New Worlds, but there's one key thing that we really have to talk about. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? Welcome to another review of Season 3 of Strange New Worlds. I'm trying my best to get through each episode as they come out week by week. This week's episode, I'm not going to go into as much depth as I did in the previous 2 episodes. If you haven't seen those yet, feel free to check them out. They got no views because no one cares about my opinion, but I'm doing it anyway because I love talking Trek. So, I mainly want to talk about the key factors, let's say, from this episode. The main one being, it's another horror Trek episode, right? Now, for me personally, let's get this out of the way now. I'm obviously a huge Star Trek fan, right? There's no doubt in that. But something else I love is horror and the genre of horror within movies and television. I actually have a horror channel. I only really tend to use it around Halloween because, you know, that's the only time anyone watches horror stuff. But yeah, you can check that out if you want. It's called Dead Scared. Anyway, adding the horror genre tropes into Star Trek always feels a little bit strange. And it's not the first time that they've done it. The whole Season 2 ending sequence when the Gorn are first introduced to us is pretty scary. The way they go about using horror in this season is, I don't like calling them zombies, and apparently neither does Christopher Pike, but they are in fact zombies, human and Klingon zombies. They feature very, very heavily throughout this episode. They are, for lack of a better term, traditional zombies. As soon as I say zombie, what do you picture? That's the kind of zombie that they've gone for. And to be honest, I feel like I've seen every zombie movie under the sun. I think these zombies, they look pretty good. They held up pretty well. They did not disappoint as far as zombies in Star Trek would go. How I feel about this in Star Trek as a whole, it's a difficult subject to tackle because horror isn't something that's really brought up in original Star Trek, whether it's TOS, Next Gen, Voyager, DS9, and so on. We don't see a lot of horror. There's a lot of suspense and tension that you could maybe argue has horror elements in it, but there's not been a classic sort of horror episode of Star Trek, in my opinion. Maybe they tried to, and it didn't come across in the 60s, 80s, 90s, whatever. But to this extent, certainly, it's not been done before. I really liked it. I don't know what to tell you. I do not. It was like a post-apocalyptic action horror sci-fi. That's a lot of cool genres and subgenres right there. The way that M'Benga and Pike were moving through this abandoned station or wherever it was, and it was on backup emergency power, and there was all overgrown weeds and stuff all around the place. It looked very, very post-apocalyptic, which is another subgenre I'm a big fan of. Even the uniforms that M'Benga and Pike were wearing felt very sci-fi Last of Us, if you get what I mean. If you know Last of Us, I think you'll get my reference there. But yeah, I really liked it. During this whole zombie horror segment of this episode, we got reintroduced to some new Klingons. First of all, I'm a huge fan of the Strange New World Klingons. Wasn't a fan of the Discovery Klingons. Like, objectively, you take it away from what we know of Klingons in Star Trek. They look cool. It was a good design. But look, the Klingon design after Next Gen was very much established as what it was, and it worked. It didn't need to change. The fact that they've gone back to that now, I think, is definitely for the best. I also want to shout out that the fact the Klingons were wearing sort of golden armor, which I thought was great, a definite nod to the original appearance of Klingons in Star Trek. Big fan. I'm going to stick with points just on this scene for now. Klingons had some disruptor rifles, and I have to mention, when they start firing at the zombies with the disruptors, the special effects work on the implosion, explosion, blood and matter and whatever else bursting everywhere. Good job. Good job, VFX team. The fact that TV shows have this level of special effects these days is just good job. Good job, Earth and movies and TV and filmmakers. So moving on in this episode, we later find out that the Klingons haven't just become aware of Pike and M'Benga being in the vicinity, they actually have been tracking M'Benga. The female Klingon is essentially, it seems, seeking revenge for the murder of her father, who Mbenga killed pretty much in cold blood as an ambassador in Season 2. Turns out she wasn't seeking revenge. She was annoyed that he killed him first. So to regain her honor after her father's betrayal, she had to kill her father's killer. I think I have that right. A whole lot of math and stuff just went on then. But yeah, that happens. They have a fight to the death to regain honor. Mbenga wins but spares her, and then she decides that the only way they're going to escape this zombie island is by sacrificing herself. So to regain her honor, the only way she knows how to as a Klingon is a warrior's death, and she opens up these force fields and sacrifices herself to the Klingons so Pike and Mbenga can escape. She doesn't do it for them, she definitely does it for herself and her honor, and I respect it. Very Viking, or Klingon, I should say. There's quite a nice touching scene between Pike and Mbenga, where after Mbenga has this speech with the Klingon and talks about how he's unleashed his monster, but he's protected the monster inside in case he ever needs it again. Pike says to him, after all this is blown over, he says, "You're not a monster, you're just a man and my friend." And I really like their relationship. All the way through this episode, I felt like their relationship was shown in a different light, and I really appreciated it. It's nice to see that not only can a captain and a lower rank member of Starfleet can get on and respect each other, but also be friends, and friends can also respect authority, if that makes any sense. Now, the other side of this episode and why the whole mission to this deserted island really happened is because the Gorn tissue inside of Patel has essentially regrown or reestablished itself, and it's very, very aggressive, and it's going to kill her. She is going to die. Now, the big twist later on in the episode, and again, huge spoilers if you don't want to know this, but it's revealed that the only way that they think they can save her is by essentially helping the Gorn overtake her and her becoming some kind of human-Gorn hybrid. At least that's how I understand it. I think that's how it's explained. Pike finds this out when we do as the audience, and he is not happy about it at all. Very, very annoyed that the doctors, Christine Chapel, Mbenga, and Patel, of course, all kept it from him. But towards the end of the episode, Patel says, even if they got him to agree, he would always say, "We'll find another way." That is very much his character. Interesting twist. I'm really curious to see where this goes. Are they actually going to have some kind of... Are they going to transfer her soul or mind or consciousness into like a baby Gorn, or is she going to start growing scales? I don't know how this is going to go. It's really interesting. The only hint we got of it is Spock tries like a mind melt on her at one point during the episode to reduce her pain, and he links with her, absorbs her pain, and sees this vision of some kind of Gorn. And then suddenly, it's like he sees from the Gorn's point of view. And as he does, the other Doctor character, Spock, just hits him and he flies across the room. Chapel slaps him, he comes back to it, and they're both as confused as we, the audience, are. This is the only sort of hint, I guess, that we've had of what this could mean going forwards, what we could potentially see Patel turn into. I don't know. It's one of those things in movie making and storytelling that you drip feed the audience just a little teaser like, oh, this is what could happen. And then you're hooked. No matter what, this show could go terrible in episode 4. But if they haven't revealed their storyline, I need to know how it turns out. So it's good writing in a way. And because it's different, when have we ever seen a human character get turned into an alien to stay alive? I mean, there's a lot of episodes of Star Trek that may have happened at some point. But a Gorn specifically, and not just a Gorn, but Strange New Worlds Gorn, which at this point have been shown to be nothing but savage, ravaging monsters, not the diplomatic creatures that they are in TOS. I don't know. And that's definitely a topic for another video too, is how the Gorn have got the way they are in Strange New Worlds, and how they become what they are in TOS. We'll talk about that. The main bridge crew then, with Number 1 and Ortegas and Lan, they're all still trying to deal with rescuing Mbenga and Captain Pike. And it becomes apparent that there is a Klingon warship of some kind in the vicinity, and if they enter Klingon space, it's going to cause all sorts of issues. They'll have a meeting and discuss different options, different plans, and Ortegas has this plan, but it's a very aggressive, insubordinate plan, and they're not happy about it. She thinks it's best for the Starship, for the Enterprise. Anyway, they go ahead with a different plan, and Ortegas essentially forces her plan into play by going faster than number one commands her to, and drawing the attention of the Klingon ship in order to do what she wanted to do. It ends up working, but it's one of those situations that's very, 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 very high risk, high reward. And she essentially put the entire crew and the Enterprise at risk, in jeopardy. And number one, who is obviously acting captain for now, I guess, is not happy about it. So she gives Ortegas 2 weeks suspension and says, if this happens again, it can't happen again, basically. And Ortega says she understands. I don't know how I feel about her character at the moment. We know that there's something going on with, again, the incident with the Gorn, whether it's PTSD, like trauma-based, or whether there's more to it than that. We don't know yet, and it's another one of those story sprinkles that they've given us just a little hint of to make us want more. And again, this is something that I really love about Strange New Worlds. They have gone to that old school episodic week-by-week formula, but they've sprinkled ongoing stories throughout that we really want to know how they turn out, because they are actually fascinating characters, and we want to know and we care about what happens to them. So it's good track, man. It's very, very good track. There's a lot more in this episode than just that, but I didn't want to go through every single scene like I did last week. I just wanted to give my thoughts on some key elements. Now, my thoughts overall on the episode: positives. I like the horror stuff. I thought the zombies looked good. I'm still a little bit like, zombies in track. But look, if I just sat there and watched it, objectively, I had a good time. I enjoyed it. It was fun. So that's a positive. The Klingons look good. The gold armor looked great. The VFX looked great, especially on the disruptors. The whole storyline with Patel and the Gorn is really, really high stakes, fascinating tension drama. I love it. Yeah, the whole conflict and dilemmas going on between the bridge crew as well, like Ortegas being a bit of a misfit. It's good writing. Negatives about this episode are, if I had to say one, we still have no Kirk. You all know I'm a big Kirk fanboy. In fact, look, I've just brought this into my office, the new studio here, to show you guys. Bear with me. Bit off topic, but how cool is this? I mean, old Bill is, what is he now, 95, 96? I've never met him. But I got this. It's authenticated. It was actually, if you guys remember QVC or something like that, that sort of tele-shopping channel, it was signed on camera, 2,000 of them. And I managed to get my hands on one. It's a really beautiful quality plaque. Anyway, no Kirk. It's definitely a negative for me. I know that he's going to be featured heavily at some point, thanks to the trailers, so I'm waiting for it, The other issue for me in this episode was pacing. It felt like it was very like, go, fast. Go, non-stop. I didn't get time to stop and process a lot of what was going on in the episode. It felt like maybe that could have been a two-parter. I don't know. Some parts felt like they were in a rush to get there, and then they were in a rush to leave it, story-wise, if that makes any sense. So that's definitely a negative, but I do understand when you're trying to do big-scale, epic productions like this and stories like this week by week on a TV show, and you're limited to 40 to 45 minutes, whatever it is, it's a challenge. And sometimes if you want to cram a lot in and you're shooting a lot of good stuff, it's hard to cut down and to slow down. So yeah, while there is a negative, I do understand it. My phone is going wild. Anyway, that's it from me this week. I'm going to rate this episode 8 out of 10. Once again, that's the same score I gave episode 1, the premiere of the season. So far, I think we have an 8, a 6.5, and an 8. Season 3 is off to a good start. I'm hoping at some point during this season, probably not, we'll get a 10, but who knows. If you're enjoying the Star Trek content here, guys, please feel free to just consider hitting that subscribe button. It's totally free. It costs you nothing. I don't have a Patreon. I don't have channel memberships. I don't have anything like that for monetary support on this channel. I just ask that you guys watch the content I put out, because, look, I can be bluntly honest here, brutally honest, blatantly honest, and tell you that this month, this channel, through hours of work, has made like £10 to £15. I don't do this for money. I do it to talk track to other people. And the only thing I want in return is people to watch and listen and chat in the comments with me. I'm not the most informed and, knowledgeable Trek fan in the world. I'm certainly a very, very passionate one, though, and I do enjoy talking about it. There's plenty of people out there that know far more than me. I'm here just to talk about something I love. So if you're into that and you want to support it, subscribing and watching and commenting and liking are the best ways to do it. As always, be sure to let me know what you thought of episode 3 in the comments down below. Apart from that, massive shout out to all of you that watched my recent short. It got about 25,000 views on this channel, and after the first 24 hours on TikTok, it's passed 100,000. So that's crazy. This channel, Federation Outpost, is actually much bigger on TikTok. I say much. It's like 14,000 followers, but yeah, quite a few 100,000 views on there. So that's great. So big thank you to everyone that watched and supported that. Anyway, I'll stop rambling, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Live long and prosper. And I'll see you next time on Federation Outpost 111.